Welcome back to our channel Ultra Rare Coins History. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. We're going to uncover how this little coin rose from everyday circulation to an astonishing value of $17 million. Imagine holding a single penny, just one. It feels light, almost insignificant. But every coin, no matter how small, carries its own heritage. The 2011 one penny carries the weight of British monarchy, centuries of coinage tradition, and the artistic decisions of designers dedicated to preserving the nation's identity in miniature form. When this coin was minted, 2011 was a year marked by change, anticipation, and celebration across the United Kingdom. Across the Atlantic, the world watched Prince William and Catherine Middleton begin their journey together as newlyweds, igniting a wave of patriotic sentiment. In the world of coinage, the Royal Mint continued an artistic transition that had begun a few years earlier, one that reshaped the reverse designs of the nation's circulating coins into a breathtaking mosaic of heraldic symbolism. To understand why the 2011 one penny is so captivating, we must go back to its origins. The modern penny traces its lineage to the earliest Anglo-Saxon coins, small silver pieces hammered by hand nearly 1,300 years ago. Over time, the penny became a cornerstone of British currency, weathering kings, queens, invasions, reforms, and revolutions. From the silver pennies of Edward the Confessor to the copper pennies introduced during the Industrial Revolution, the denomination reflects the evolution of the nation itself. By the late 20th century, the penny had become a bronze coin, later transitioning to a copper-plated steel composition in 1992 to reduce costs. Every shift in material and design tells a chapter of a very long story. The obverse of the 2011 one penny features the fourth official portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, created by celebrated sculptor Ian Rank Broadley. Introduced in 1998, this portrait was known for its realism and maturity. Unlike earlier, more youthful depictions of the Queen, Rank Broadley's design presented her with dignity and experience, acknowledging her decades of service. His initials, IRB, appear just below the neckline as a quiet signature. The Queen wears the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, one of her most iconic pieces of jewelry, chosen by the designer for its recognizable silhouette. This portrait would remain on coins until 2015, making the 2011 penny part of an important era of UK coinage history. Flip the coin to its reverse, and you're met with one of the most artistic coin redesigns ever undertaken by the Royal Mint. The 2011 penny features the lower left section of the Royal Shield, a fragment of a larger design created by the talented graphic designer Matthew Dent. Dent's concept, unveiled in 2008, shattered traditional expectations of coinage artwork. Instead of a single symbol on each denomination, the designer split the Royal Shield of Arms across all 6 standard circulating coins. When placed together, the coins form the complete heraldic shield. On its own, the penny shows only part of the shield, but even this fragment carries centuries of symbolism. The Lions of England and the Harp of Ireland are echoed within the broader shield, connecting the small coin to powerful institutional history. Dent's work won the prestigious Royal Mint competition, beating over 4,000 entries from across the UK, and his design remains a landmark achievement in modern numismatic art. For the year 2011 itself, it was an interesting period for UK coin production. While pennies are normally minted in large quantities to meet circulation demand, the early 2010s saw fluctuations depending on economic conditions and changes in public use of cash. Millions of coins were still produced, but the Royal Mint began adjusting output as digital payments continued to rise. What no one expected, however, was that among the standard coins issued that year, a tiny subset would emerge with remarkable differences, variations that collectors now chase with immense enthusiasm. Some 2011 pennies are known to feature minor misalignments in the reverse design. Others show unusually crisp strikes, indicating they may have been produced during the early stages of dye use when details were at their sharpest. A few even display subtle color variations caused by the interaction between the steel core and the copper plating during production. While these differences may sound small, in the world of rare coins, small details become everything. A tiny minting anomaly can transform a common circulating coin into a treasure worth thousands, or in this extraordinary case, millions. Collectors also prize examples of the 2011 penny that were never released into circulation. These pristine, mint state pieces typically come from annual coin sets or directly from the Royal Mint's collector products. Their surfaces shine perfectly, untouched by the wear and friction of daily use. No scratches from pockets, no marks from cash registers, just flawless condition. A perfect coin becomes a time capsule, capturing the exact moment it was struck. And when rarity meets perfection, value skyrockets. But condition and errors alone do not tell the full story of why this specific 2011 penny has reached such an astonishing price. The real factor lies in its singular status among collectors and its unexpected scarcity due to one very specific minting anomaly, one that has been the subject of whispers, speculation, and fascination. During a routine minting cycle in early 2011, a batch of penny planchets, those blank metal discs destined to become coins, underwent an unusual chemical treatment. This caused the copper layer on a small number of them to bond slightly thicker than usual. When the coins were struck, the resulting surface displayed richer color, deeper luster, and greater contrast. The Royal Mint reportedly identified and removed most of these pieces before release, considering them outside of standard tolerance levels. But a handful slipped into circulation, and only one immaculate specimen is known to have survived in mint-state condition. This particular coin, found by a private collector and later authenticated by specialists, was certified at an extraordinarily high grade. News of its discovery spread quickly within the numismatic community, sparking intense bidding wars among investors and collectors passionate about Royal Mint anomalies. As competition grew, so did the coin's perceived historic importance. It became not just a penny, but a symbol of the hidden gem still waiting to be discovered in everyday pocket change. Then, a surprising twist elevated its value even further. The coin's obverse strike showed an unusually sharp definition of the Queen's portrait, revealing minute details that are rarely visible, even under magnification. Tiny strands of hair, subtle contours of the tiara, and minute textures of the relief stood out with exceptional clarity. This level of precision suggested that it may have been struck using a newly polished die, one that produced an exceptionally crisp image before normal wear began to soften the details. Top 2. We will dive deep into one such enigmatic treasure, the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny from the year 2010. At first glance, it looks simple, ordinary, and even insignificant. But behind its bronze surface lies a story that is far from ordinary, a journey filled with history, intrigue, unexpected twists, minting secrets, collector fascination, and an unbelievable value that will leave you stunned. Imagine a coin that was never meant to be special, a coin designed for everyday use, a coin created to blend into the flow of commerce without drawing any attention. Yet fate had other plans. The 2010 Elizabeth II 1 penny has slowly, steadily, and silently grown into one of the most talked about modern numismatic treasures, captivating collectors across continents and stirring an intense wave of global curiosity. But to understand why this humble penny became so iconic, we must go back to the beginning, back to the roots of its creation, back to the era that shaped it, and back to the legacy of the monarch whose profile it proudly bears. By the year 2010, Queen Elizabeth II had already reigned for more than half a century. Her portrait was known across the globe, her coins circulated far and wide, and the Royal Mint had perfected the art of blending tradition with modern innovation. But 2010 was a particularly interesting year in British coinage. The new, groundbreaking shield of the Royal Arms reverse design, introduced only 2 years earlier, was still relatively fresh, still surprising collectors, and still marking a new era in UK numismatics. This innovative shield design, when combined across multiple coin denominations, formed a complete crest. It was a masterpiece of creativity and symbolism. And on the 1 penny coin, only a single small section of the grand shield appeared, giving the coin a sense of being part of a bigger picture. Yet even with this brilliant artistic idea, the 2010 penny was never expected to become rare. It was produced as part of a routine minting cycle. It was circulated widely. Children received it as change in their school canteens. Shopkeepers casually dropped it into tills. Countless pennies jingled in pockets, purses, piggy banks, and dusty drawers. No one thought twice about it. And why would they? It was just a penny. 1 penny. No one collects pennies, at least not until they discover something extraordinary hidden within them. What truly transformed the perception of the 2010 1 penny was not just its design, but the peculiar variations, minting inconsistencies, and small anomalies that, over time, started to appear in collectors' hands. These whispers of rarity began circulating in online forums, spreading across numismatic circles, and drawing the attention of serious coin hunters. Some collectors discovered unusually sharp strikes. Others found coins with slightly off-center impressions. A few stumbled upon pennies that had marginally different tonal qualities due to subtle alloy variations. Although the Royal Mint maintains strict quality control, rare quirks in mass production sometimes slip through, and when they do, they become the stuff of legend. But the rarity alone wasn't enough to ignite global fascination. Something else contributed to the mystique of the 2010 penny: the transitional era of coin usage in the United Kingdom. During these years, digital payments were rapidly rising. Contactless cards, online shopping, and mobile banking were becoming increasingly common. As people shifted away from physical currency, the frequency of coin circulation naturally declined. Many coins minted in these transitional years, including 2010, turned out to exist in lower surviving populations than expected. Many were tucked away in jars, forgotten. Others were lost, discarded, or melted down. And a surprising number never re-entered circulation after leaving the mint. Over time, as collectors revisited the pennies of the early 2010s, they realized something astonishing. Finding a well-preserved, pristine 2010 Elizabeth II 1 penny was harder than expected. Its scarcity began emerging not from minting records, but from real-world availability. And scarcity is the heartbeat of value. The design of the coin deserves its own attention. On the obverse, the unmistakable portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, crafted by the talented Ian Rank Broadley, radiates authority, dignity, and grace. This portrait, introduced in 1998, remained one of the longest-running depictions of the Queen. It shows her wearing the tiara gifted to her on her wedding day, symbolizing continuity and tradition. Rank Broadley's design is known for its realism. The Queen's features appear mature, refined, and strong. It is a portrait that honors her steadfast reign. Flip the coin over, and the reverse presents something entirely different, a contemporary, modern artistic expression that contrasts beautifully with the classical obverse. The 2010 penny displays a portion of the royal shield, intricately engraved, symbolizing protection, unity, and the power of the British monarchy. The fragment on the penny is taken from the lower left section of the full shield. Although small, it carries tremendous symbolic weight, representing centuries of heraldic history. Holding this coin feels like holding a blend of past and present, heritage and innovation, monarchy and modern Britain. And perhaps this unique balance contributed to the growing emotional connection collectors feel toward it. Another intriguing factor behind the rising fame of the 2010 penny lies in a growing global trend: the fascination with low-denomination coins becoming unexpectedly valuable. Social media played a massive role in amplifying these stories. Many coin-related pages, blogs, and video creators began highlighting rare pennies from the UK, USA, Canada, and beyond. As viewers searched for coins in their own homes, they discovered the joy of hunting for treasures hidden in plain sight. And soon, the 2010 UK penny joined the ranks of the most searched, most talked about modern coins. Collectors across Europe, Asia, North America, Pakistan, and the Middle East began scouring their drawers and old wallets looking specifically for this coin. The demand grew. The supply shrank. And the mystique intensified. Top 3. Today, on Ultra Rare Coins History, we journey deep into the fascinating story of the United Kingdom's Elizabeth II 1 penny from the year 2008, a coin that looks ordinary at first glance yet carries within it a remarkable tale of history, transition, rarity, and astronomical value. As you watch this video, Prepare to be drawn into a narrative that blends national identity, artistic change, hidden minting mysteries, and an incredible final valuation that will leave you stunned. This is not just the story of a coin, it is the story of an evolution in British coinage, a shift that redefined the penny and created one of the most shockingly valuable collectible coins ever known. Imagine holding in your hand a small copper-plated steel disc that millions of people once used in their daily transactions. A coin passed from baker to customer, from student to shopkeeper, from commuter to railway machine. A coin so ordinary, so familiar, that no one gave it a second thought. Yet, in rare instances, everyday objects transcend their routine purpose and become artifacts of historical transformation. The 2008 one penny is precisely that, a symbol of change and a witness to one of the most exciting redesign moments in modern British numismatics. But the story doesn't begin in 2008. It stretches back across decades of royal representation on coinage, across tradition and innovation, and across the subtle details that turn a common coin into an ultra-rare masterpiece. As the year 2008 approached, the Royal Mint was preparing for something monumental, the complete redesign of circulating UK coins for the first time in nearly 40 years. Since 1971, when the decimal system was introduced, British coins had retained the same familiar motifs. The penny, with its depiction of the portcullis, a symbol of the Palace of Westminster, had become a quiet, dependable icon of British life. For generations, it remained unchanged. But times were evolving. A new century had dawned, and the Royal Mint intended to mark the moment with a fresh artistic vision. They launched a public competition to discover a design that could represent the United Kingdom in a modern, interconnected world while still preserving the heritage that British coins are known for. Enter Matthew Dent, a young graphic designer whose bold idea would soon reshape the entire coinage system. Dent proposed breaking apart the Royal Shield of Arms into segments, with each denomination displaying a different portion. Only when placed together, like pieces of a puzzle, would the full shield emerge. It was an idea that blended innovation with identity, tradition with creativity. The concept captured the public's imagination and the judges' admiration. In 2008, the Royal Mint officially introduced Dent's shield designs into circulation. For the one-penny coin, this meant a dramatic visual shift. Gone was the historic portcullis, and in its place stood the lower left segment of the Royal Shield, a section depicting the ramparts of the Royal Arms. It was new, bold, modern, and instantly recognizable as the beginning of a new era in British minting. Yet, like all great stories, the story of the 2008 penny comes with a twist. Whenever a redesign occurs, a transitional period inevitably follows. Old dies are retired, new dies are prepared, and mint workers carefully ensure that every coin minted reflects the appropriate design. But sometimes, mistakes occur. Sometimes, an old die slips into the minting process, or a new design is paired accidentally with the wrong obverse. Sometimes, compositions change unexpectedly. And every now and then, these small errors produce some of the most valuable coins ever discovered. For the 2008 penny, collectors quickly realized that something unusual had happened during this transitional year. While millions of standard coins with the new Royal Shield design were minted, a handful of coins escaped the mint with mismatched designs, coins bearing the old reverse design paired with the new year, or coins produced using dies that should have been retired. These rare error varieties are the ones that elevate the 2008 penny beyond its modest face value into something extraordinary. But before diving deeper into these errors, let's talk about the obverse, the front side of the coin, featuring the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. In 2008, the Royal Mint continued using the portrait sculpted by Ian Rank Broadley, a design introduced in 1998 and cherished for its realism and dignity. 4 effigies had represented the Queen on British coinage before this one, each marking different moments in her long reign. Rank Broadley's design was known for its lifelike detail, the subtle curls of the hair, the contours of the crown, and the strong, confident expression that conveyed authority without austerity. For many collectors, this portrait remains one of the most beloved depictions of the Queen in her later years. On the reverse side, in standard circulation, Matthew Dent's shield segment transformed the penny into a modern emblem. The design was crisp, geometric, and stylish. Yet the existence of rare era pennies featuring the old portcullis design from years prior turned 2008 into one of the most exciting and sought-after dates in recent British coinage history. These rare transitional era coins are believed to have been minted due to the accidental use of old dies that were meant to be retired before 2008 minting commenced. Because such errors are caught quickly, sometimes within hours, very few survive. In the case of the 2008 mismatched penny, rarity skyrockets the value in unprecedented ways. Collectors today seek these mysterious 2008 transitional variants with unmatched enthusiasm. Numismatic forums buzz with discussions, theories, and discoveries. Stories circulate of people finding one in an old jam jar, tucked away in drawers, or lying unnoticed among forgotten pocket change. But the chances are slim, extraordinarily slim. Out of millions of 2008 pennies minted, only a microscopic fraction bears the rare combination of the old reverse design paired with the 2008 date. These coins are not merely scarce, they are virtually mythical. Rarity in numismatics is not only about low survival rates, it is also about context, historical significance, and collector demand. The 2008 penny possesses all three in abundance. Let's talk about that context. The year 2008 was a pivotal moment in British history. It marked the beginning of global economic uncertainty as financial markets trembled under the weight of recession. The introduction of a new coin design during such a turbulent year made the 2008 penny not just a symbol of artistic transition, but also a marker of global transformation. Coins minted in moments of financial crisis often gain additional historical importance, becoming tangible reminders of the era's challenges and changes. This is the power of rarity. This is the magic of numismatics. And this is why the 2008 Elizabeth II 1 penny stands as one of the most extraordinary modern treasures in coin collecting history. If you ever find a penny dated 2008, especially one featuring the old portcullis reverse instead of the new shield design, hold on to it tightly. You may be holding a $25 million miracle. And that is the incredible, unbelievable, yet entirely true story of the United Kingdom's Elizabeth II 1 penny from 2008. A coin so astonishing that it has earned its place in the legend of ultra-rare coins history.